an agent, an entity. It has caused such propulsion, such acceleration, to the point of absolute shakiness, uncertainty, absurdity. Things are seemingly unknown. Am I even ready for this? I thought I was, but am I even capable of seeing things for how they really are anymore? The skepticism runs so deep in my veins it completely blinds my vision. All I can think about is how I need to relax all of the time. But then a part of me is unsettled, disturbed, and at clear unrest. I need to find the truth. The truth is nearly unknowable. If I only had the ability to dig into someone else's mind, if I only fully saw the sheer and absolute openness, if only I knew more and more and more, to the point where there is nothing else to know. And so this old person deep inside of me, this mangled, tortured, skeptical, crippled excuse for a person shakes from its memories, and not from the momentum, not from the propulsion forward. It waits for another strike, another slash, another stab, another bash. The new part stares, wonders, hopes, wishes, prays in ways, ponders. Then, it acts as a gateway into my old self. The pessimism is like a disease, incurable, intolerable, inevitable. I remember the days of being trapped in my own head, wanting to scream, but not disturb anybody else with my mania, wanting to obliterate without others' expense, wanting to rip everything apart without having to deal with the consequences of the fallen structures thereafter, wanting to breathe it all out into the air in front of me, wanting to indulge once again. The shards of aluminum are everywhere, a halfway path of compromise, something that settles the present without destroying the future. Hope is lost and flushed down the toilet in small doses. The dreamscape that I wanted to create and traverse has not fully lost or gained. It just sits there, water beneath oil. As the liquid stagnates and settles, so does my mind, a perpetual chaotic state. This momentum I once had seems to be stored somewhere in my mind's essence. I cannot find any other word for halted motivation. I cannot find any other vision. The barriers that I worked so hard to remove throughout my life seem inevitable. They creep back, whether it be on my own behalf or from others' doing. My mind ponders, is it truth or are they lies? It's a battle. It's a war. The only peace treaty is signed by attaining true and impenetrable knowledge. Seemingly impossible. What am I going to do? Am I supposed to seek, surveil, and circumvent any bit of information that comes my way? I remember how much time that costed, how much effort, and even then the battle continues between the old and the new. The unconvinced and vigilant skeptic versus the short-lived, hopeful, wishful adventurer. Optimism, pessimism, realism, opportunism, they're all shades of colors for something that is so far away from reality. A modality of future planning that simply cannot describe what happens in the very present beyond your control. I've changed perspectives more than I can change clothes. Although limited, the cycle eventually repeats itself until rarely a new outfit is attained. Until one is affordable through mental or fiscal resources. I've tried surfing the waves of chaos. I've tried both surmounting and traveling around the immovable obstacles. I've tried both delving into and escaping away from the dreamscape. Mentality, unavoidable. The true insurmountable obstacle It stops us from getting what we want. The conditioned ego. The true darkened adversarial shadow of yourself. Just as you're preparing for war, just as the two sides of you are equipping and arming themselves, the catalyst returns. The sounds start again. Optimism demands your hope. Pessimism demands your truth-seeking and readiness. Realism demands your preparation. Opportunism demands your potential energy. You feel mentality tugging on you in every single direction other than being fully present. You cannot drop your past as you want it to. You start to feel your limbs ripping and tearing in your safe haven of a dreamscape. The new version of you is startled and screams to be saved, while the old you was prepared and is in a calm state of silence, waiting for times to pass. You wish for, strive for, and work towards a break, but you know reality will keep continuing despite your peak velocity. Within this peak, there is awkward silence. No more sounds. No more whirring. No more yelling. And from such a high position, there is really nothing but distractions. It's impossible to focus on yourself or on the past, only what's beneath and what will soon return in the future. But many people forget that it's the past that has launched you to such a high position. These thoughts and obsessions with the past and the future do nothing but harm you and stretch your mentality in both directions away from the present. Both the new and old versions bargain with you and plead for you to stop fixating on time. Time is not something you're going to escape as a person. Even mentioning the word time is like mentioning politics in a crowded area. It would start screaming, yelling, debating, and activism, just as you can feel all of the different entities in your brain doing the same. These memories, screaming, yelling, debating, and recruiting your activism. The new version of you has the urge to just shove all of these extra thoughts off the desk and into the trash. These extra pathways and memories that are gathering dust without any real practical usage or stopping you. The old version of you kicks in before the new you can take any action whatsoever. It screams and scolds at the new you. Why would you discard these useful memories? Why do you attempt to disrobe and discard of my armor? Why are you so quick to lay down our weaponry? The battle is simply peace versus chaos. Preparation versus disorder. This chaotic and disorderly conduct that has been inferred, inflicted, and plagued onto your mind should be discarded of forever. Those pages should be ripped straight out of the textbook, discarded of, and burned. Those memories should never be returned to. These memories are the only thing keeping you away from repeating your past, from living in that endless cycle that you so dastardly hate and judge. And yes, although these memories cause force, tension, and intensity, the cycle is unavoidable. These memories are in centripetal motion, and the moment you let go, all is lost. It's as if the memories that you hold close to you are sacred, important, and truly useful, truly productive. It's as if you somehow subconsciously have a want for chaos, a knack for destroying yourself. We'll talk so long about this, we'll debate for decades until the moment that we both die. And then what? Your past fixated self keeps exclaiming that an unexamined life is not worth living. But yet, have you ever considered that an over-examined life gets you nowhere? That it makes you more stuck than you originally intended? That overthinking results in a motivational and behavioral modality of simply freezing, considering all possible outcomes as the anvil descends from the heavens onto your head? We're both going to die one day. You might as well make life worth living with new memories rather than cowering back in a corner. Look, if you want to kill yourself being an adventurer, so be it. I tried to warn you. We've concluded that my gut feeling is almost always right. We've had enough training in the past to be damn near perfect, but your hopeful pride is getting in the way of you having a truly happy life. Here's what you need to do. Raise your expectations. Care a little less. Stop expecting so much of your future, especially considering what has happened in your past. And finally, stop consulting with others consistently on what you have to do. It's like you need a support group for your hope. Whatever happened to do or do not, there is no try. Do you realize that it's not freezing behaviorally or mentally if it's going to save you anguish and despair? Subtle happiness was possible to be found within being content. Those times where a cycle was bearable for you, where goals were slowly creeping toward you closer. It's like both of these sides, the protagonist and the antagonist, both agree. They're waiting for a catalyst to break the mind free of worries, to recalibrate lost hopes, to retain innocence, to start the lawnmower again. Have you gotten what you wanted yet? A future? An optimistic goal? But sinister thoughts crawl about, outnumbering anything that is holy. The battle of peace and chaos will continue forever, so long as time has a say in the matter. The question is whether you will accept your destiny's calling of being truly present, or will you just shove everything, including yourself, off of the desk and into the trash? Those memories are you. Those thoughts are you. Those goals, hopes, and dreams are you. Don't abandon them. Don't abandon any of them. Abandonment, like chaos, is unpredictable, uncontrollable, unforgivable. And too many people have abandoned you, abandoned us, for you to give up fighting for what is truly right. It's important for you to stay ethical, stay vigilant. The only thing that needs to be discarded is the aluminum shards in your skin and in your gut. The only thing that needs to be evaluated is the presence that so beckons your call.